What's up, guys? This is OJ Light. We're gonna try something a little different tonight. A friend of mine's, Remine, really liked the pictures I draw. Like I was kind of explaining something to her using some pictures. She thought it would be a good idea, so we're gonna just try this tonight, okay? Um, I'm at, if I can do it, I'd eventually like two cameras, one on the face, one on what I'm doing here. All right. So let's kind of get started. All right, guys. So we're gonna bring. First of all, sorry for being AFK for a few weeks. I had some family things and my bathmate broke. I was super sad, super fucking sad. I got a new one. I got an 8-inch this time instead of the 9-inch. Way better. I like it way better. I'm not saying it's. The 9-inch was a little big, guys. It was a little big. This is way. This is just. It's just easier to handle. It's just. I like it way better. Okay. I'll probably do a full comparison on it in a couple days. And I can get back to some of the back to some of my regular content. But anyways, guys, this is what I want to talk about today. I am convinced that there are two things that if you did and got really good at and really consistent with, they would change your life. Okay, we're talking two very simple things. Okay, we're talking about two very simple things, and I think these two simple things are like the life changers. Okay, actually, let me grab this book. What's this book? Okay, so I've been kind of reviewing this book. For a minute. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I remember talking to Good Looking Loser about this book. Okay, he. I'm not saying he did a brief review of this on his blog years and years ago, and how to use it in terms of, or use the principles in terms of getting laid. But this book is really a life changer, and we're going to use this as the underpinning of what I'm talking about, right? So this, I'm gonna really talk about practical, but this is like the philosophicalness underneath the practicality, right? So we're gonna draw this. We're gonna just draw this basic triangle so you can understand what I'm saying, right? So this is gonna be this book. Let me put this book over here. I think. There you go. That way you can see the book while I draw this out. Okay, so here's the triangle. And we're gonna just say that 7 Habits is like the base of this triangle, right? This is I'm gonna call this like the life-changing triangle, right? So 7 Habits, and we're also gonna talk about wealth attraction later on. Okay, actually I'm gonna explain how that ties in right now. Okay, wealth attraction. It's the second book we're gonna be talking about in a few weeks. So, in this book, when we get to chapter, where's it at? 4, he talks about win-win, having a win-win mentality, right? And he kind of glosses over this, but he says you gotta understand what winning is, okay? You gotta understand what winning is first, right? And I think wealth attraction is about having behaviors and stuff that get you to win at life. Okay, so that's why when we get into the win-win, we're gonna switch over to this book. Okay, we're gonna switch over to this book, and then we're gonna go back over here. Okay, because like I said, he talks about this book kind of breezes over it. Like you need to understand what it is to win. And in Dan Kennedy's book, in Wealth Attraction, it's really about having attributes that make you win. Like you attract stuff into your life. Right. That is it, right? So, and then, but if these are the underpinnings, right? If these are like I guess you call the philosophical, spiritual, whatever you want, wording you want to use, those are the underpinnings. What are the actual practical things you could do if you did every day for the rest of your life? You'd pretty much have a great life. What are they? Okay. So the first one, we're gonna just call this over here. Get into shape. Okay. Get into shape. Okay. And then I'm gonna just give you the second one, and we'll talk about this in a bit. So get into shape, right? That's number one. That's like uno number one. Okay. And the second one is master marketing. Okay. Master marketing. Okay. So get into shape, master marketing, right? So you're gonna build muscle, and you're gonna build, or you're gonna attract wealth. Okay. So that is, if you could. So we're gonna work on this for the next 180 days. Okay. So I'm gonna explain why I've picked 180 days. This number. The days don't really, the number doesn't, it does and it doesn't matter. You can pick a year, you can pick 2 years. So this is the idea, guys. I got this from Dan Kennedy, okay? You have to get yourself a deadline. Otherwise, you just fuck with goals, never ending. You will just fuck with goals. They'll just go on and on and on. He used this brilliant metaphor. I never had heard this before, and I thought it was just on point. It's a little biblical, so forgive me if you're not into that, but it was such a brilliant metaphor. He said, God knew it would take 7 days to create the earth, because if he had not set his own deadline, he would still be creating to this day. Like, it's such a wonderful metaphor. You need a deadline, okay? So if you want to do like 360, or you want to do less than this, 365, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just picking 180 days, right? And we're going to try to get these two goals in 180 days. To be fair, I am in the best shape of my life right now. To be fair, this goal is kind of half-assed completed. What I need to do is just lose a little bit of body fat so everything I built really pops. That's really where I'm at. You guys have seen plenty of pictures of me. There's pictures all over the YouTube, so we all know what I look like. All right. This one is a little harder. This one's a little harder for me. Okay. This one I am struggling with because I'm just starting now to apply. Okay. Just starting to apply. Okay. Regardless, I'm pretty convinced if you dedicated your life to these two concepts, master marketing and getting into shape, you're going to be way better off than, I'm going to say 80%. You're going to be probably way better off than 80% of the population. Maybe even 95. I bet you can get this. I'm going to say this. This will get you to the 95%. This will get you, this will get you to the top 5%. Okay, that's gonna get you, this will get you to the top 5%. Okay, guys? So let's kind of get into this. What is marketing? What is marketing? Marketing is letting people know you exist. That's basically it. You're letting people know that you exist. And getting into shape is about losing fat and building muscle, right? That's it. And then we got these 7 habits here, which we're going to be talking about. So this right here is the battle plan, right, guys? This is the battle plan, and I'm going to explain how I picked these two goals. This is actually a little further into this book, but later on in this book, probably about the third way through, it asks you a very important question: what one goal could you do that if you just did for your personal life, your life would be so much better? And that would be getting into shape. And then it asks what one business goal, if you just did, would make you way more money. And for me, that would be master marketing. And I believe these two things apply to everyone. Everyone should get into shape, and everyone should know how to market. Okay? You don't have to be the best marketer in the world. Just knowing how to do it properly will probably get you, again, into the top 80% of the population. Getting into shape will get you into the top 80% of the population. But if you do both of these, you definitely just hit the 5% mark. Okay, guys, you just hit the 5% mark. Because this brings you more, this brings you better health, better everything. This brings you more money. This is a winning formula. Okay, this is a winning formula. I'm convinced that this is the answer. Okay, and we're gonna learn this together. I'm gonna learn this. I am horrible marketer, but I've started it. I started the process. And I'm giving myself 180 days to really. We're gonna get some goals, right? We're gonna get some hard, targeted goals. Okay, so these are the goals. Okay, I'm gonna draw. Right? To get into shape, I need to hit 200 lbs. That's this goal. That's the hard measurement goal. Okay? And right now, as of this day, I am at 237.8. Okay? That's where I'm at right now. Okay? That is these are hard goals. This is where I want to be, this is where I'm at. Right? I'm going here. So, what is the marketing goal? Okay, what is my master? What do I consider to be master at marketing? Okay, now this one's going to be a little bit harder. Okay? But I would consider myself I consider myself good at this skill. If I can get if I can get, this is the magic number I'm thinking, 625 eyes or views, okay, with a 2% response. Okay? So what does that mean? In essence, let's just make this 600 just so the math is easy, but it's really 625. I want, if I was to cold call 625 people in a week. If I was to do this in a week, okay? 625, I'm going to say per week. So, per week. Otherwise, so I called 625 people. I was trying to sell something like a full salesman. I want a 2% response, and not sales, but response. Okay. So I think the math breaks down like this. Okay. A 2% response. And response is just, they're interested, doesn't mean they buy, they're just interested. 2% response is a winner. Okay? And this is, I got this from Alex Hormozi. Okay? So we need a 2% response, that's okay. And then once you have a 2% response, you keep rising your prices, rising your prices until you hit 30% sales, and then you learn sales. Okay, so that's like the formula I got. You want 2% response, so that would be 2% of 600 would be 2, 4, so 6. You'd want 6 a week. I'll just say 6 responses a week. That would be really good. That'd be really good. Okay, 6 responses, 6 people saying we're interested in your thing. They might not buy, but they want 6%. So if you have 30, let's just say a third, that means you want 2 sales a week, right? That's what it means. I don't know what the dollar amount is. 2 sales a week might be a lot. Like if you're selling like a $500,000 yacht, you sold two $2.5 million yachts a week, you make $1 million a week, right? So that's kind of what we're going for, right? But we just want a 2% winner. We want a 2% winner, okay? So this is the battle plan for the next 180 days, and I am convinced, I'm super convinced, if anyone did this, your life would be just phenomenal, right? Your life would just be on point, okay? So, let's kind of, I'm going to pull this page out, guys. Okay, this is just my book. We're going to probably flip this page. I want to make 1 page a day. I don't want to use any more than 1 page a day. So, let's kind of talk about this, right? Let's talk about this. So, we've all seen me talk about getting into shape, right? I've had a few really long presentations on this, right? But we're gonna kind of go over all of this again, very briefly. So first, let's start with the 7 habits, guys. Let's start with that. Alright, so I'm gonna just start with the before they get into the habits, there's 2 concepts they call it. He calls it the inside out. We'll go with that one. That's like, I think, the first proper chapter. But really when I read this book, if you don't know who J. Abraham is, or Abraham, is it Abraham? Let me look that up. 1 moment. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I'm saying that. Yes, J. Abraham. He's a business consultant. Okay. Now I watched a seminar from him. I don't know how old it is, but I watched it this year. I think it's like probably a decade ago, but still, he talks about the concept of preeminence. Okay. I don't even know how to spell that. Preeminence. Here we are. Okay, if you look at the dictionary, it means the fact of surpassing all others. So this is the first thing. It's not a habit. It's something you need to understand before you apply the habits, right? Preeminence. Okay, you want to have preeminence. Okay, you want to have a superiority surpassing all others. That's what you want. You want that, right? So I'm gonna just put this. We're gonna put this here. What you are aiming for, guys. What you are aiming for is having. This table has a little bit of grain in it. Makes it hard writing. Having a superiority, okay, that surpasses all others. Okay? That's what you want to be. You want to have a superiority that surpasses all others. That is it. That is what I'm aiming for. Okay? I'm not gonna say we. I'm sorry to say we. That's what I am aiming for. To have a superiority that surpasses all others. Okay? That is what it means to be preeminent. Now, how do you gain that? Like, we would call like a king. A king would have preeminence, right? So how do you gain that, though? How do you gain that in this day and age, right? Okay, so this was a really powerful. This is probably like, talk about like seductive. Like, this is like something you can whisper into somebody's ear, and you'd probably win. They'd fall in love with you. Okay, what I'm gonna tell you. So what it is you want to. Let me use the exact wording. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Let me kind of, so to understand preeminence, you got to understand this. Everyone has a type of uniqueness to them. Okay, I'm not saying all uniqueness is good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everyone's got a uniqueness to them. Okay, I'm trying to find what was the phrase he used in this book? I should have highlighted it. What is that? One moment, guys. There is. I'll have to just. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Maybe I'm viewing in the two species, but everyone has a uniqueness to them. Okay, everyone has a uniqueness. Okay, uniqueness. Okay, terrible spell. That word is not spelled right. A uniqueness. Okay, so everyone's got a uniqueness, right? Boy, can you see that? Is that okay? Let me take a look at my camera. No, that's fine. That's fine. You can see it. I'm sorry. I have screens all. Okay. Everyone's has a uniqueness to it. I have a uniqueness to myself. You have a uniqueness to yourself. Everyone has a uniqueness to themselves. Okay. But here's the trick. Here's the trick. When you interact with somebody else who's unique, you need to cherish their uniqueness. You need to respect their uniqueness. You got to. There's value in their uniqueness. Okay, you need to take the attitude. You need to take the belief. There is value in other people's uniqueness. Okay, that's the attitude you need. That's the attitude you need to take. There's value in other people's uniqueness. That's it. And by taking this attitude of people, that you value their uniqueness, by taking it, you open the door. Now this is where Jay Abraham comes in. This is something he's really big on, and it comes from this idea that you're valuing their other. Now you don't have to agree with it. I want to say that. If somebody has an opinion that's different from you, you can value it, but it doesn't mean you have to agree with it, right? I don't agree with a lot of people I know's political views, okay? I don't think their views devalue them. I just don't agree with them, okay? You gotta really take that to heart, okay? So, okay, you ready for this? Once you can do this, and they know you're doing this, okay, they know that you value their uniqueness. You step into the role. You step into the role of their most trusted advisor. Okay, that comes from Jay Abraham. You step into their role as the most trusted advisor. Okay, so anytime they have a particular problem in an area of their life, they come to you for advice. But that only can occur, that relationship can only be built if you value their uniqueness. Again, you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to do it, but you do have to value it. Okay? And people know when you don't. So I'm gonna tell a story. This is a straight up story. Okay. I have a particular family member who women and minorities do not like. They don't like this particular family. Every time I meet there's always some issue. Okay, those same people that dislike this person like me. They just know. Okay, there's no. It's this. And it's not even that I value them. Okay, it's not even that It's not even that. It's that I don't devalue them. I don't view them as worthless. Okay, I don't view their uniqueness as a worthless attribute. Okay, that makes them lesser. Okay, I don't, and it's just obvious in the way I talk. It's obvious in the way I interact with people. It is just obvious. This is why it's kind of odd. So when people first meet me, they don't generally like me. because I am me, and I am not going to change who I am. That's not going to happen. But they end up coming around, usually because they get this, like, okay, they realize I am not going to agree with them, and they are not going to agree with me on certain views. But they realize that I still value them for their uniqueness. That is like the key. Okay, so once you have this, you can step into the role of trusted advisor. Okay. Now, okay, so we have now, we're at this pyramid, we're at the bottom of the pyramid, and we're talking about being preeminent. Like, this isn't even a habit. It's not even a habit. We're talking about being preeminent. How does this feed into these two concepts, okay? And this is it, right? So in marketing, it's easy to understand, right? When you're trying to become people's trusted advisor, you are trying to become their trusted advisor, okay? And so that they interact with you. So with marketing, that is a marketing position, right? You are preeminent. That is a position you're taking in the marketing field, right? So in marketing, this makes sense. In business, this makes sense, right? Example, maybe you're a plumber, right? I like to use the plumbing example because it's easy. And somebody has a plumbing problem, so they come to you for your advice, right? In terms of plumbing, you are the most trusted advisor, right? That is the business relationship, right? Now, how does this work with fitness, though? Now, this is the part I think people overlook. You have to be preeminent with yourself, okay? I know that is a mind-blowing concept for some people, but you have to value your own uniqueness. You must value yourself. You must do it. It's not just about valuing other people's uniqueness. You must value your own uniqueness, okay? Now, I used to not, okay? So growing up, I was always like, why am I different than these people? Why do I think differently than these people? Why do I have these problems, right? Why is this light on this? Let's see if that helps a little. Why do I feel like such an outsider, right? And the reason I felt like this is because I did not value my own uniqueness, okay? I did not value my own uniqueness. So you have to be preeminent, not just with other people, but with yourself, okay? With yourself. And that's why this book, and like I said, this is just in the introduction chapters, okay? We haven't even really gotten to the habits yet. And we're not going to get to the habits today, but because I really want you guys to tackle this concept. I really want you guys to embrace this concept. In fact, probably tomorrow's episode will be all on the idea of preeminence. Okay, like we talk about getting in shape. Like this channel is for penis pumping gym bros. Okay, that is a unique. There's a unique, like even being a gym bro, guys. I know on social media it looks like everyone's a gym bro. It's actually a very, very, very small percentage of the population. It really is. In fact, I think some people just like watching other people be gym bros and aren't gym bros themselves. I really believe that. I think it was. I think it is Earl Nightingale said this. And I've heard numbers very similar. He used the 3% number, but I've heard 4%, 2%, so 3% is probably right. He said that if you set 100 people in a room and you gave them the step-by-step formula to become a multimillionaire, only 3 out of those 100 would go and do the steps. Okay? Some would probably start the steps. He said a good majority would start doing some of the steps, but quit. But only 3% would actually see it all the way through. Okay, only about 3%. So I actually think a lot of people that watch anything, money, women, fitness, only 3% of the actual audience, guys, is probably actually living that life, right? Even this channel, I bet you only 3% of all the views I get are actually living that life, okay? They're waking up at 4 in the morning, they're hitting the gym, they're using the bathmate, they're watching what they're eating. Only 3% of you guys are actually doing that. I don't know who the 3% are. It's probably people that don't even comment, but only 3% are doing that, okay? So that's it. That's the God honest truth, guys. You got to be preeminent, okay? With yourself. Start with yourself first. Value your own uniqueness, guys. Value it, okay? Do not worry about the opinions of others. Do not worry about it. They are useless. People's opinions, you can't go to the bank with them, right? Somebody's opinion of you, you can't write that on a check. Okay? You can't do it. You cannot write somebody's opinion when you're obese and can't get out of the bed because you didn't want to live, because some people said going to the gym is a waste of your time. Their opinion's not helping you then. Okay? I've been told on the working out side, why do you gotta work out? Why can't you be fat and sloppy like the rest of the population? And they were serious. You need to value yourself. You need to value yourself. Is that my dog? Sorry guys, I think my dog's here. Give me a minute. Is that you, little buddy? That is not him. He is, must be the AC. Okay, so we understand the concept of preeminence, right? I'm gonna go way deeper into this tomorrow. I'm probably gonna go way deeper into this tomorrow, right? But I just wanted to touch on it today because I think it's starting to build the foundation, right? So we know that, okay? We're gonna start valuing ourselves as people. We're gonna really value our uniqueness. Okay, we're really gonna value our uniqueness. So, what we're going to talk about, and we're going to kind of divide this in. Okay. We'll call this gym for lifting. We'll call this marketing. Okay. And like I said, I'm still figuring out marketing. I am figuring this out. I have this down. I just have to be a little cleaner on the diet. The lifting of the weights is going great. Great. The program I do, I just love it. I fucking love it. This I'm starting, guys. Okay, so don't take what I'm saying as gospel. This is just stuff I am learning. I'm figuring out in real time. Okay. So now let's talk about the gym. Let's talk about the gym. Okay, let's talk about the gym. Let's actually talk about this. What do I do? So this is. I jokingly say that I live the bathmate lifestyle, okay? I joke about that a lot, but it's not really a joke. This is probably not good. If you heard this, you'd probably get the wrong idea. What I really do is live a scheduled lifestyle, okay? Based around the following: lifting weights, and using the bathroom, okay? That's really what I do. I have a scheduled lifestyle, okay? Meaning, I live a particular schedule, okay? And really, I'm trying to add this to it. Really, if I had my morning, it would either lift weights, it would be do these, then market. That's pretty much what I would do all day, okay? If I could. But we're still figuring this out. But let's keep going back on this, right? So, let's kind of just draw what I mean, right? So, really my days start on Saturday. I know some people. I consider the start of my week as Saturday. Okay, I work towards the Friday, not the Saturday. Saturday. I didn't even spell that right. Saturday. Okay, what do I do on Saturdays? Let me give you an example. So on Saturdays, I bath mate, and then I swim. Okay. Sunday, I bath mate, and then I go swimming. Sometimes I walk my dog. Like in summers, I usually walk the dog because 9 out of the 12 months where I live, it's fucking miserable. Otherwise, so usually swimming. Sometimes I do swimming, I do this, then swim, then walk my dog. Sometimes I do that. I do all three. Depends on how I feel. Okay? Then Monday. What do I do on Monday? I lift weights. Okay? And then Tuesday, I bath me. Actually, I swim first on Tuesdays. I do this before I go to bed. Bath me before I go to bed on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But on Saturday, Sunday, I do it first. Just how the way I do. Okay. Wednesday, what do? I lift weights. Thursday, I swim and bath me. Okay. Friday, my final day. Guess what I do? I lift weights. Okay, guys? You see how this, and this, guess what? I do this every week. I do this every week. It's a scheduled lifestyle. Scheduled lifestyle. Based around these two things. Lifting weights, you do the bathing. I do it every week. Okay? This does not change. Okay? This does not change. Now, in terms of diet, because diet's really the thing where I struggle a little bit, right? So, because remember, we're trying to get to 200 pounds, right? This alone will not get me to 200 pounds. This will not get it. You know why? Because if I did all this and still ate a bag of fucking cookies every day, I would get fatter. Okay? This does not do it. This does not do it. Okay? This does not do it. But this does get me into shape, right? I look way better. I just look like a monster now, guys, in a good way. Like, I looked at, okay, this is a humble brag. I was at the gym this morning, dude, and dudettes, and I looked at my thigh, I was doing squats today too, and then I went and did leg presses, not leg presses, I'm sorry, I did leg extensions, and then I was doing assisted pull-ups, right? So I put my legs on the pad that helps with the pull-ups, and dude, my right thigh almost took up the whole fucking pad, okay? I didn't realize how big my thighs have gotten. They're huge. They're fucking huge. But you know what? You can't see the muscle definition. You kind of can. If I flex, you can start seeing the outlines, but I need a lot more fat loss, okay? So the muscle has come. Like, I am in probably the best shape I've ever been, okay? I wish I did this. I wish I was in this shape 20 years ago. I really do. But time is time. So if you're 18, start doing this. Start doing this. But let me talk about the diet, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 diet things that I keep in mind, right? And I got these from Chuck Tanner. I love his content. I love his content. There's a few people I like. I like Chuck Tanner. I like Michael Heron. I know some, or Hearn. I mean, I know some people don't like him because there's that whole is he natural or not debate. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Okay, I like him. He's humble. He has a very chill vibe. I know he's not real like, but I don't care about that. I enjoy his content. This is from these gentlemen, Alan Roberts, big one. This is really what I do for diet. Okay, this is the diet. And when I stick to this, actually 4 of these I stick to on a daily basis. It's the 5th one that gets me. So, sleep, I get sleep. I get sleep, guys. I love sleep. Right now, guys, I'm already thinking about bed. This is 8, 9, 10 hours. This is easy. I don't have any problem getting sleep. Just drink water. Guys, I drink so much water a day. I probably go, on a good day, guys, I could do a 12-pack of water. I drink the shit out of water, okay? This is not, I don't drink calories. I really, with the exception of my protein drink, and trust me, if I didn't eat protein to build muscle, I would not drink the protein shake, okay? I get the water. The water, I drink so much goddamn water, guys. I love it. That's not hard. 3. What's number 3? What is 3? Oh my god. Oh! Play. Oh my god, guys. So, let me just kind of go through... Let me go through play. Let me go through play. I can't even believe I forgot this, right? And this is really important. This keeps your mental clarity too, because there was a thing I watched about you just can't be all about self-improvement. You'll go insane, and that's true. So that's why I make sure I have 90 minutes of play every day. So this is what I consider play, guys. This is what I consider play. Swimming. Okay. I love swimming. I love being in the water. If I lived on a boat, I love the sea. It's sacred to me. Water is sacred to me. People want to live on the boat because they think, oh, they'll get all the hot pictures. No, I want to go to the sea because it's sacred to me. That's why I want to live on the boat. The water is sacred to me. It is sacred. Okay, I love swimming. Dog walks. Every weekend, guys, as long as the weather's good, me and my dog, we go to the forest preserve and we go for 90-minute walks. I'm surprised he's a little Shih Tzu. I am surprised he makes the 90 minutes. He loves it. I love it. I love this. I love dog walks. Okay, I love exploring and taking pictures with my cameras. I love it. Okay, dancing. I love salsa dancing, guys. I do this every other Saturday. I'm almost. They've actually opened another dance. I might do this every Saturday, guys. I might do this every Saturday night. I love it. I love it that much. I love it. I love these 3 things, guys. I love water is sacred to me. Spending time with my dog in nature is sacred to me. Dancing with the opposite sex, sacred to me. I love this. I love these 3 things. I also do Warhammer 40K. It's not really physical, but sometimes I do need just something to sit down and relax and just do a little painting. You can see the yellow idea. That's I spilled some paint. I love this, guys. I love it. But these 3 are physical. Like these help with the diet. This probably helps with my mental clarity. You know. What else do I do? Now, number 4, and we'll kind of get back to the play. Lift weights. So that's this, right? I consider the bathroom with that. That's this right here. That's this. That's all of this. That's all of this. Okay. But I do think I love lifting weights. It's fun. I think it's like play. I love it. I fucking love it, guys. I fucking love it. Okay. I consider it like a game. Okay. It's like a video game. Can I do the? It's like you know how, like people speed run in video games, was instead of time, like can I do it faster? It's can I do more weight or can I do more reps? That's kind of the attitude I have to the gym. I love it. Okay, I love actually, and I do watch. I'm not the guy trying to ego lift. I really do watch videos on how to do better lifts. I really do. I watched a video on deadlifting, guys. I felt like it actually the exercise got harder for me, but I felt it throughout my body. I'm like, okay, now I understand. This video explained it to me in a way, and now I can feel it in my body. Now I understand why. When I did it properly, I felt it through my whole backside. I found out how to achieve that. It felt great. Okay, so it's not even just about doing more reps and more weight. It's more about doing it even better, right? For me, all 3 aspects are important. Doing it better and pushing the weights and reps, right? It's all important. Like, I love it. The last one. Now this is where I get a little tricky. Even today, I failed on this. And I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna say it's really just eat meat, but that's not quite my stance. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with carbs per se. Let me kind of go over a review. I'm not gonna write this down. This probably could be its own video. How I look for you. On a good day, I will eat just meat. On a good day, I will just eat meat. Okay. But then there are some considerations and some vitamins. Okay. Here, let me give you some considerations. One, I don't snack. Okay, I only eat lunch and dinner. Lunch and dinner. I have the protein shake after my morning workout, then lunch, then dinner. There's no protein bars in between. There's no midnight snack. There's none of that. It's just those. That's it. Some people call it intermittent fasting. I don't. It's not even that. I just don't snack. That's it. And honestly, I don't really like eating that many times a day either. Because let me give you an example. If I usually eat dinner about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because let's say I ate. It's almost 8 o'clock now. If I eat dinner right now, it's 8 o'clock, and I ate dinner. I went out and ate dinner after this stream. I would be up to 5 in the morning. It kills my sleep. I don't know why. I like to sleep. So I going to bed a little hungry, I actually sleep better. I don't know why. I don't care why. I just do. Now as for carbs and fats and all that stuff, let me kind of give you a breakdown. I let my body tell me what I need. I always need the protein, so I always try to get 200 grams of protein a day. Yeah, I try. I don't always hit it, but that's what I try to get per day. If I'm exhausted, like I felt like I slept like 20 hours and I still feel exhausted, like I got no energy, I bump up the carbs. I have some carbs. Like today I had some rice, okay? If my body is super fucking sore, guys, I mean, it's like, it's not that I'm tired, it's just my body is just aching, I bump up the fat. And the reason I do that is I don't know the whole science, but carbs, good for energy. So if I feel like I'm low energy, I bump up the carbs. Fats are really good at repairing damage and for the immune system and all that stuff. So if my body feels weak and not tired, but like it's just damaged, I bump up the fats. I treat food like I just let my body tell me what I need to eat, okay? And I do have a little bit of fruits here and there, but basically it's meat. It's like 80 to 100% meat, okay? Like I said, someday they'll like I'll have meat for 4 days straight and nothing but, okay? That's really how I eat. And then like I said, this morning I had some rice because I did those squats, and man, I tell you what, about 3 hours later, man, I felt my world falling apart. That's how much exhaustion came over me. It was like something just sucked the life out of me. And like I said, I felt pretty good leaving the gym. I felt real good. But that happened. Alright, so this is it. Well, this is like the battle plan, guys. Like there's some tactics, like what am I actually lifting, like exercise selection, my meal enhancement routine. And by the way, I swim for 45 minutes. That's what I'm swimming, 45 minutes. And my workouts are about an hour. I do 6 exercises per lifts. Okay, that's enough. Originally I did just 3, and I was like, yeah, I can do more. 4, 5. 6 is enough. 6 is. That's it, guys. That's it. All right, so this is the activities we're doing, and I'm convinced, guys. Like if you did this, if I just did this half, you'd look great. You give yourself a year just doing this, you will look great. You will look great. Okay, if you're doing what I talked about, which is good exercise selection, really trying to improve every exercise. Even if you just said, I'm gonna just concentrate on making my deadlifts better this month, just doing that one exercise, just concentrating like that, way better. You'll just start, but just start. The important thing is just to start. Before all this, start. It's not to wait, it's to start. Start now. If you don't have a gym membership, go get one after this. Right now. Okay? Right now. So, let's talk about marketing. This one's a little vague for me. So the goal of marketing is to let people know that you exist and you provide a service, right? That's basically it. You exist, you live in the world, you have something that you can give to other people, and you're trying to convince them that you're the option for them. Okay, that's basically marketing. So let me give you an example. I'm reading a couple books, and I might have to bounce back between several books because I feel like they go. Let me get one of them out. Let me get them out. So this is by Dan Kennedy. Okay, it's called the Ultimate Marketing Plan. This really is not a plan. Okay, there's another book called the One Page Marketing Plan. Way better. That's a plan. This is like, how to put it? It's like the building blocks for the plan, right? It's how to make the building blocks. It's like not like, let's say you're building a brick house and the marketing plan is the brick house. This book really isn't about how to build the house. This book is more about how to build the bricks. That's probably a better view of this book, okay? In my opinion. Like you're building the marketing bricks. And then the one-page marketing plan, which I don't have in this room with me, that's more of like how you assemble the bricks together. And there's some other stuff too. But that's generally how I would look at this book. But I read the first one, like the right message. Okay, and let me explain what he's talking about. So when you start this process, you need to think of something called a unique selling proposition. Okay, and basically, kind of goes back to, remember how I said value your uniqueness? Well, it's basically what is the unique thing about your company, or the unique thing about you, okay, that no one else has, or it would be very difficult to do, okay? It would be very difficult to copy, right? It would take quite a bit of effort. So, and this could be anything. This could be theme. This could be a color. This could be a guarantee. This could be a product. It just has to be unique. The key word here is unique. That's really it, right? That's the thing. How can you be unique? Okay. So just to kind of, I kind of thought about it could be all the customers you serve too. That could be your uniqueness. You only serve a particular type of customer. But it's your unique quality that makes that you're selling. Right? What makes you unique? That's it. That's the thing you gotta think about, right? Now, once you got this figured out, unique selling proposition, you got this figured out. Like, let me give you Disney's. Disney's is the happiest place in the world. I think that's their theme, but that's what makes them unique, right? That's their theme, and it's unique to them. And they try to make it the happiest place in the world. That's why people always go back there. Okay? So, but you gotta find out what makes you unique and double down on it. And it could be a lot of things. Product offers, it could be guarantees, it could be, like I said, it could be anything. If you invented a unique color that no one had ever seen before and only you knew how to make it, that would be the unique selling proposition, right? This stuff, the selling proposition, that's not the important part of this formula. It's the uniqueness. Okay. So once you figure out in your marketing what makes you unique, you attach an offer to it. Okay. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of an offer. Offers basically, what are you providing for their money? That like I have, like let's say I was selling this book. If I'll sell you this book for $10. That's the offer, right? That's what an offer is. Okay. And Alex Hormozi, which I think I'm gonna bring that book home tomorrow. Alex Hormozi has a book on this. Okay, he has a book on this. But really, you need to think of what's unique about you first, then create the offer that matches it, right? So that's one. So you gotta have an offer that you attach to your uniqueness. It would be better if it's like, this is an offer only I'm so unique that this offer is also that unique, right? They kind of go together, right? And then the last thing you need to do is have a story, okay? A story, why you do the stuff you do. Why are you, right? Okay? Now, like I said, I've not figured this stuff out yet, okay? And we're gonna play with this. But I'm just telling you what I've learned, okay? And I'm gonna tell you something about a story. I'm gonna give you guys a quick what a story is. A story is, and this is Robert McKee's definition. A story is when you have a meaningful conflict that results in a irreversible, meaning it cannot be undone, irreversible change. Okay? That's what a story is. So we all have, this is why some people tell about the hard conflicts they've had in their life and how it's changed them as a person. That's because it's a meaningful story, okay? It's a story. So you need an author and a story to attach to your unique selling proposition, okay? So that is what we are going to be working on, okay? That's just the first steps. These are the first things in the marketing. Okay? So guys, I've been going on for about an hour now, and I think we've covered a lot. So I'm gonna do a brief review. Okay. So one, we're giving ourselves 180 days to get to 200 pounds and figure out how to get a 2% response on 625 views a week. Okay. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna practice. We're gonna do this. Okay. The first, and we're gonna use the 7 Habits book here as the emotional, spiritual, mental, whatever you want to call it, foundation for this triangle. Okay, that's one. And then we learned. So that's the goal. And we learned about being preeminent. Okay, and that's having a superiority that surpasses all others, right? And you gain this by valuing other people's uniqueness so that you may be their trusted advisor. And the first person you need to value is yourself. Okay? That's why getting into shape is so important. And the 2 activities, like I said, I'm pretty convinced if all you did was getting into shape and learn how to market, your life would be phenomenally better. Okay? We talked about the gym life. We see how I live a scheduled lifestyle. Ooh, there's the dog. One moment, buddy. One moment, guys. Let me get my dog. Let me get that dog. All right, come on, buddy. We're going to get the dog. All right, come here, bud. You come here. You come here, little dude. I know. I got you. I got you, little buddy. Oh, okay. Crank. Put you in your bag. All right, get out of the bag. There you go. Sorry about that. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't even know what that dog is doing. Alright, he's just running around now. Alright, sorry. So example, I live a very scheduled lifestyle, and you don't have to follow the schedule. That's not the point. The point is you just have a schedule. It doesn't have to be this schedule. It just is that you have a schedule. But these are some good diet rules, right? Get sleep, drink water, have play, lift weights, and try just to eat meat. If you gotta vary it up for reasons of one or another, that's fine. And then for marketing, like I said, we're learning the first. I guess we should put like an actual action to this, right? So basically per week, let's just say you made mailers, like I got an envelope here. You'd want to send out 625 mailers a week, right? And they can be bad, like I said, even if they're bad mailers, because we're going to work on it. We're going to keep trying to make them better, okay? So, we got actions. We're going to be thinking about what makes us unique in business or ourselves. We're going to think of an offer, and we're going to think of a story to go with this uniqueness. All right, guys? So that's what we got today. So I got to get going, guys. It's been a we've got a lot to think about, a lot of work to do in the next 180 days, and let's see what happens. All right, guys? So this is OJ Light, and I will see you on tomorrow's stream. Later.